someone seen a person, a suspect. It looked like most of them all have these Ring cameras. We were fortunate, and this started at 8 a.m., daylight. We knew the last person would be moving when it became daylight if they could. It was cold, it was below freezing, and we were walking up, but we were fortunate. We had close to 25 people in training over on the west side of the county starting this morning. So those 25 people were deployed here to this area. If it had been out in the county, it would have been harder to do a door-to-door search to notify people. But very fortunate as far as we had these people in training. They were already here. They were deployed. We asked them, they were ordered to come here, and the perimeter was set up, and the search was going on. I believe it was Trenton that had the drone, I believe. Our helicopters were getting ready to get up. The weather kept us from doing that last night. OSP were naturally made the first initial stop. I was in communication with the governor's office this morning, very, very, very early. The governor was briefed. The Highway Patrol, through the governor's office, was offering us anything that we needed. Just keep in mind, when people escape and they're trying to get away, they're very, very desperate, and they do desperate things. So keep that all in mind. These people were, it was an alert all over the United States. During this time, when they were running from all of us and headed for these different locations, we're close to where we're at today. We done a reverse 911. Basically what that does, sends a call out to the residents in that pinpointed area and notify them to lock their doors, don't answer the door, and we'll get that information to you when this is over. So people were locking their doors, they were texting, and they were keeping their doors locked, don't answer the door for strangers. Two of our group were walking up, the dog hit on the car, and at that point, the neighbors were giving us directions, which directions they were going, where they were going, the one person. They went up to the car, the way I understand it. Inside the car, the windows were fogged. That's a sign. The deputies opened the car. I assume the car was unlocked, and there was somebody hiding in the back seat, hunkered down, hiding in the back seat. And I was told, I don't know who was the most shocked, our guys that found him or the guy hiding in the back seat. And when you got somebody that's running from the police and you don't know if they're armed or not, that's like right in your face all of a sudden. What's going to happen? So this individual was apprehended, and they're all in the Butler County Jail at this point. We were told that the car, license plates on the car were stolen, Kentucky tags, and why they were in Butler County, we don't know that yet. This is all very fluid. We try to get the information out to the people that live in the community. This is as close to a gated community as you can get. High-end homes here, but the houses are very densely located, which made it easy for us to get the search in, but it would have been very difficult if we hadn't had those 25 people already in training to get the quick response that we had. We had other agencies here, several agencies. Trenton was here. Who else was here?
Ohio State Patrol last night, the United States Marshal Service, Middletown last night, Monroe PD.
So it was all hands on deck. Can't do that without all hands on deck. You don't know how dangerous these people are, but just keep in mind, the guy's hiding. He's in a car. He's hunkered down. He's in a neighborhood. He knows it's daylight. He knows we're looking for him. He knows he's going to go back to prison. If someone from that home came out and got in that car, we don't know any of this yet, but it was daylight. He couldn't get out and walk. He either had to go in a house, take somebody's car, do some harm to someone. They're very dangerous when they're escaped. Or get in that car, and when the person got in the car, I don't know, I can't tell you how many people lived in that house, got in the car and was driving off, and the guy jumps up from behind him. He's got a car, he's got a hostage, he's got money. We're very fortunate that all of us in this room were working together. We're very fortunate that we had the people in training It's our ERS team, our emergency response team, and there was 30 of them in training. And police and fire, we were training together. And these are people that do searches. We do water safety. We do water rescue. We do a little bit of everything. We're deployed all over the United States. And we find lost people and we look. So it's perfect training, perfect time for them to be here. They're the ones that made the apprehension. At this time, it's still very fluid. Again, we don't know why they were here. We don't know what they've done while they were here, but we suspect the car was stolen. But we know the license plates were stolen, and they're all apprehended and in custody at this time. We'll take any questions that you have at this time.
Do you have a timetable for when they got into the area? Because, I mean, you said Kentucky stolen plates, so I assume...
All we know is when they were stopped, and I gave you that information, and you should have it. The stop took place at 9:30 p.m.
Right.
is when the stop took place. We don't know where they were coming from, where they were going. Did they know somebody here? We don't know that. The United States is a big place. You think that they would, everybody always thinks when you see these fugitives that are on the run that they're somewhere else. But this is how stupid they are. The one we caught last night, you're in the police station. You're here, and he was running past here. I'm surprised he didn't run here and try to hide. It's not the first time criminals are stupid. This one was stupid, but he was dangerous. And he come to the wrong place. And we've got the best law enforcement in the country. We all work together. And the good thing is we're getting calls from the governor's office offering us whatever we need, helicopters, wherever we need. But one of the most fortunate things is we had 25 people in training that morning that weren't part of this detail but became part of it. And they're the ones that apprehended the last individual, it's a very dangerous situation. Again, the other one that was apprehended by Westchester, I was told was trying to carjack a vehicle. That's what I was told. This is all very fluid. It'll all change, and we'll find out more as the day goes. Any other questions?
Sure. If you talked about resources, you brought up the drone earlier. Were you able to actually spot the suspect with the use of the drone?
The drone was used. The suspect was found because somebody seen somebody going down the street, and I believe we had all of our, what do you call them, ringtone cameras. But am I correct? The drone didn't spot him?
Correct. He was concealed in a vehicle.
So the drone can't do that. Now, our helicopter has a heat seeker on it, but we couldn't put the helicopter up last night because of the weather. The highway patrol couldn't put theirs up either. So the drones were being used this morning. The helicopter was on standby. They had the keys in it, and then he was apprehended. But keep in mind, what got this guy was shoe leather. No matter all your technology in the world, it's somebody shoe leather. Law enforcement walking, knocking on doors and looking, observing fog inside the car where the windows are fogged up. That's a sign somebody's probably in there when it's below freezing. So it's shoe leather. And it's all of us keeping these people to where they can't run. Next question.
Sure.
You've already asked 2 questions, man. No, go ahead. I'm just messing with you.
I know that the 2 guys that were picked up by the highway patrol were sex offenders. Dakota Pace was the guy that you guys picked up this morning. What was he wanted on? What was his crime?
I think what I was told is that he's a car thief.
Yes.
And what else?
They all had escape warrants out of Missouri.
And there'll be additional charges. We don't know what they were incarcerated for. Most of these people that are incarcerated, most of them have been in trouble since they were like 13 years old. So we'll have more as the day goes on, what kind of charges these people have had in their past history. But of the group that was captured, 3 of them were sex offenders, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so without these apprehensions, Lord knows what would have happened and what could have happened. So we're very fortunate. There'll be more details coming out as the day goes. Any other questions? That ends the press conference at this time. And if you have any questions afterwards, these guys in the back are part of the emergency response team. They were the ones that were out there. The dog's not with you today, is it? He's outside. What kind of dog is it?
Bloodhound.
Bloodhound with the big ears, and he's one of the best in the country. He hit on the car in the beginning, and then they backed off, And so the dog hit on the car, and that's how it started, and with people witnessing. But imagine last night all these people are texting each other in the neighborhood, lock your doors, how much fear was going on. Don't answer your door. We'll answer any questions as the day goes. We'll be putting more out, and we'll answer any questions that you have here today. Thank you very much.